Hi, I'm Jim Prues, and welcome to this edition of the World 5.0 Weekly Update. Our top story, Obama 2.0. In his inauguration speech last week, Obama spoke with very progressive tones and a focus on climate change, immigration, and gun control. His stirring remarks reflected the long arc of history and the urgency of this moment. Really. Many progressives were demoralized by Obama's policies in the first term. Guantanamo is still open. Financial regulations in response to the meltdown have been tepid. Drones are still blowing people up. Curiously, he said, "We must act," and "we the people" on several occasions. It's worth remembering that the bureaucracy, or shadow government, or war machine, whatever we call it, doesn't change just because we got a new president, nor does the pressure from corporate interests. I suspect some actions that seem like progressive lapses are areas where the president is at the mercy of the machine. Obama seems to carry with him a great sense of history, with a pretty good understanding of his legacy as the first black man to wear the presidency, and now for a second term. Now that the Republicans have failed in job one, preventing Obama's re-election, we'll see how they act and react with this new Congress. Considering the already failed effort at filibuster reform, it's clear we still have much to work on. The Congress doesn't seem to have the presence of mind to appreciate how busted they are, and how far out from awakening America they are with those wacky belief systems. Perhaps they'll learn in the next election cycle, if we teach them. Mali, the African nation that's home to Timbuktu, which is fun to say, is struggling with armed conflict. Apparently, Islamic militants, some from Libya, are threatening folks of other ethnicities there. So, the French and U.S. airstrikes move in, supposedly to fix it. The disgusting part is that it seems every engaged party in this mess is playing the role of dirtbag, with the net effect of Mali brothers and sisters getting fucked over and killed. Can't wait till we bring some integrity to geopolitics. I can't frickin' wait. Scientists from the Five Gyres Institute have discovered the first evidence of a garbage patch, an accumulation zone of plastic pollution floating in the South Pacific's subtropical gyre. The new study, published in the journal Marine Pollution Bulletin, marks the first documentation of a defined oceanic garbage patch in the southern hemisphere. I guess we can all feel better knowing that there are giant islands of plastic in the southern hemisphere too. Striking how it's killing wildlife. A new report just issued by 3 of the world's leading ecologists is warning that the alarming and rapid increase in the death rate of trees 100 to 300 years old will have very negative effects on the health of ecosystems around the world. The deaths aren't confined to a particular area either, but are spread out amongst forests, savannas, woodlands, farming regions, and cities across the world. Large old trees are critical to ecosystems as they include several microsystems within their majestic presence. Not surprisingly, what the report doesn't touch on is the marvelous effect these ancient trees have on our consciousness just from being around them. Send these majestic, dear old trees thoughts of peace, love, and life. They're kindred, you know.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Together, we discovered that a free market only thrives when there are rules to ensure competition and fair play. We have always understood that when times change, so must we. Now, more than ever, we must do these things together. We are made for this moment, and we will seize it so long as we seize it together. For we, the people, understand that our country cannot succeed when a shrinking few do very well and a growing many barely make it. But we reject the belief that America must choose between caring for the generation that built this country and investing in the generation that will build its future. We will respond to the threat of climate change. That is how we will preserve our planet, commanded to our care by God. You and I, as citizens, have the obligation to shape the debates of our time, not only with the votes we cast, but with the voices we lift in defense of our most ancient values and enduring ideals.
In depth, this 5D life. In school, we were all taught about the 3 dimensions of length, width, and depth, And then we learned about the fourth dimension of time, as everything changes over time. But what about this 5D stuff? What's this all about? World 5.0 sees the fifth dimension as the totality of now. We can no easier leave this moment than we can stop the passage of time. Oh, we leave often enough in our thoughts and feelings and fears, but that's just in our busy little heads. Reality is affected not one bit by such mental meanderings. Another way of thinking about it is that the fifth dimension is the dimension of spirit. If life is this crazy business of us always being here and always passing through time, how in heaven can such opposing forces exist together? Spirit. Christians with the Trinity say spirit is the connective tissue between God the Father and God the Son. If one interprets those two terms broadly, this is exactly the same standpoint. But ultimately, 5D reality is a matter of perspective and perception. With the perspective of the totality of now, one sees the world more clearly, enabling the eyes of peace and love. With the acceptance of all that is here, our perceptions are enriched and enlivened. Our world is richer. We feel this luscious presence of spirit, this interplay between time and eternity. Great stuff. Cincinnati is updating its new Green City plan with several new recommendations based on recent public meetings. Most notable in this update is the clear support for urban food production, processing, and distribution, and a stronger focus on renewable energy, with the inclusion of geothermal as a preferred heat and cooling source for new buildings. About 30 students from the Rockdale Academy in Avondale were among the first recipients Friday of a new program that offers free trips to the Cincinnati Zoo for eligible students. The Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden is teaming up with area organizations to make field trips free to qualifying students through its Living Classroom Education Access Fund. Next week, In Depth will explore the Tao, this incredible idea that within everything exists its opposite. Wacky stuff. That's our show. Peace out.